Hello. I just wanted to hop on. I'm re-recording this video to help restaurants, small businesses, breweries, distilleries, wineries, all that to set up their online store quickly and easily. And I'm using the SquareUp platform. If you're not familiar with SquareUp, they are a credit card processing system that is coordinated and works closely with Wheelie, so you can quickly and easily get up a store for free, and then all of your credit card processing would go through them. They also have paid plans that you can upgrade to that lower your credit card fees, and also give you upgrades to do a little bit more design and such with your website. But I'm keeping it simple. I'm keeping it up just so you guys can get started, get going, and get things up. So if this video is useful to you and anybody you know that's in the small business space, please share this with them. It's my gift to you. And I own a company called Elisa Connor Consulting, and what I do is I consult with small businesses to help them grow their business with strategic marketing and web design and all of those different things. So this is my gift to you all as a give back, because I'm very passionate about helping small business. So without further ado, let's get started on that tutorial. And I apologize that yesterday there was no sound. That is not helpful at all, but we're going to get you some sound today. So I've reset things, mostly reset things, and I'm going to give you two options. One is for a product-based store. You can also do this with services. So if you own a hair salon or something like that and you want to set up a gift card or however you want to do it, you could do a service based too, or you can do it as a restaurant or any other type of online business that's struggling right now with having people actually show up, and instead you need to do delivery. So without further ado, let's get started and hop on over
All right,
to the
so
tutorial.
here we are.
I'll see you over there in the on the dashboard of your Squarespace. So once you've signed up for Square, it's going to send you over here. I'm not going to walk you through the setup because it's too personalized and individualized per business. So I'll let you guys get through that. If you already have a Square guide or a Square account, then you are familiar with this dashboard. If you're new, there's a setup guide right here that will walk you through a lot of that, and you can get to where we are now. So you're on your dashboard. The areas that we're going to focus on, you see there's a ton of things you can do here, including, virtual terminals and stuff like that for your retail and for restaurants, but we are not going to focus on that. I really want to just get things going. So if you haven't set up your account settings, this is obviously a test site. I am never going to use this before again, but these are the things that you would want to set up in here. You've got to have a bank account set up so that they know how to pay you. So you would add your bank account, email notifications. This is going to tell you about your sales. If you get annoyed with emails, you might want to change these to not email you so often. And then if you have authorized people in your company that can use Square, you'd put them here. And then here's all your business information, which is really important because if you have a physical address, you need to add it here. I don't have one because this is made up. Phone and email you need to add because this is how they're going to set up all of your taxes and your shipping and all that stuff. So you're going to have to link your bank account, and then it will tell you, this is going to determine your transfer speed of funds and all that stuff. So you can see that it's a little bit more expensive to have same day transfer, but it's not going to let me set any of this up until I set up my account. So I'm going to let you guys do that. As I said, it's very personalized. And then your receipt, you can change. This is something you might want to change to match your logo colors and maybe add your logo in here. So let me just show you what that would look like if I upload my logo. I'll just use my current business logo and you guys can see just how that looks, and then you'll see how it shows up. So it shows up right there, and then I might want to change this to pink. You can choose, do you want the description of the item or just how you want it, your business name, your address would show up here, all of this stuff that is not completed because This is a fake business, as I said. Once you do all that, make sure you hit save down in that lower right-hand corner, and it will tell you that you have been successful with that big green banner. Tax forms, also important if you need to monitor sales tax, things like that, contractors, all that stuff. So you'll need to fill this out. Devices, if you already have a device. So if you already have Square, you probably have this connected, but if you don't, they will send you one. And you can also type it in through the Square app on your phone, and then you can fill in your business information, business documents that you would need to have in here, etc. And then this will tell you, how you can order if you don't have a card reader. It is a little cheaper, I believe, to have a card reader, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. So that's your account settings. And then we're going to hit that hamburger button and go back over here. I really want to hop into helping you get your items set up and less about setting up an account. So if you need help with that, Square has a lot of tutorials itself. But you can always just reach out to me, and I can try and help you a little bit with that, but you should be able to get that going. So where we're going to focus is items right now, and you'll see I have already set up a few items in here, and I want to show you how to do that. But before I start with items, I would actually start with categories, and the reason is that you want to have a category for your items to sit under. However, what I did realize when I was setting this up is that categories on the Square side are more for your benefit, and a category would be something like appetizer, beverage, breakfast, and then I set up another one in here for like people that, I have a friend that owns a craft store, so she would have card making supplies, fabric, yarn. For some reason, it's not letting me like move these around. So anyway, and then you would assign items to your categories. Like I said, the categories are not transferring across to the online store, but if you want things to be organized on your Square side, organize it this way, so when you come back in, you're like, what happened here? And you'll know. So if you need to assign items, we don't have any appetizers right now. That was not a good one to choose. So let's choose breakfast. And you'll see I have some options that I can put in here. So I have avocado toast, biscuits and gravy, and pancakes. Those are all breakfast items, so I would move those there. And then I have desserts, so I would assign an item like pie to desserts. If I wanted to create a new category, like we'll just put lunch. Maybe we have a lunch menu. We'll work on lunch today. So you'll see that showed up there. I don't have any lunch items yet, which means I need to move over to my item library, and we're going to create something for lunch. Okay, so I realized as I was recording that the screen was too big and you weren't seeing some of the stuff, so I wanted to shrink it and get over here. So we're going to go ahead and create an item, and we're going to talk about modifiers and variations in a minute because they show up very differently in on the order page. And so a modifier would be something like if you want to make a modification to your order. So for example, if you have a restaurant and you have people that want to choose well done, rare, or I think I actually put that in steak, but rare, well done, or medium, or whatever, that would be a modification. And same with that's how I would use a modifier. A variation, on the other hand, would be like if you, or a modifier, another example would be if you ordered avocado toast, you might need to choose what kind of bread. And so something that needs to be chosen by the person that's ordering your food online, that would be something that you would modify the item in some way. So maybe somebody wants sourdough versus white bread. A variation, which we're going to talk about in just a second, is it would be a variation of that item. So like, for example, pie, we have multiple variations. We would have key lime, cherry, apple, and so you wouldn't want both on there, but the variation is, so say you had pecan pie you were going to add in here, so I just am going to add one, and it's seasonal, and so maybe it's a little bit higher priced, or you can't get pecans right now, and so maybe the price for pecan pie is $8.95 a slice, and I don't think you can put per type of pie. So once we hit save, and then as far as a modifier, we're going to talk about these in just a minute, but our store is fancy and we offer gluten-free pie, and so that would be a modifier, is if they wanted gluten-free pie. So let's look at the chicken sandwich. I'm not really sure why this is in here already, but I'm gonna in here. And you could put a category if you have one. If not, you could just, like, I would probably put this under lunch. So you could choose your lunch category, and then your choice, blackened or fried, on a sesame, on your choice of bun. Maybe you have two choices of bun. Served with lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion, and creamy chipotle ranch dressing. Okay, so we got that in there. And I obviously can't type too well today, so we're going to fix that. Because if you just put a color sandwich images, I have a ton of pictures in here, so maybe I'll have one. Maybe we'll be lucky and I'll have one for sandwiches. Might help if I go to the right folder. Images. So let's see what I have here. I have food. Maybe I have lunch. Okay, we have lunch. Well, we have a lunch box. I'm just going to put that because I don't want to waste any more time looking for, but so we have a sandwich picture in there. Obviously put a picture of your item. Don't just put something there. And then if you need to edit it because it's wrong, you can change your image, but just stick something in there. And then per item, so my sandwich is $12.95. And then if you only have a limited amount, like you only can have it at a certain location. If you know, maybe you have multiple locations, you can do that. Or you can, if you only have a limited amount, you might want to track stock. This would be really great if you have a product-based business. So if you only have 3 yards of a certain fabric, you can track the stock here. So that's important. That's when you would use that. And then if you want an alert of when stock is low, you'll want to set that here too. And so both of those will fill out. Now, if we wanted a variation of this, and we have a couple variations and a couple things we need to choose on here. So they can choose grilled. So you could do this two ways. You could put, this would be large. Sorry, you could do large and small here. Or if you wanted to do grilled, and then it's, you know, here you would have to put the price again. So maybe grilled is that price, and then you could add another one that is blackened, and let's say the blackened is a little bit more. And then whatever you set this price at is what the price of the item is going to show up as and on the menu. So make sure that you do that, because when you add a variation, if you put a price in here or a modifier in here, that is not extra unless you make it extra. So if you put $12.95 here and then you put $12.95 here, your sandwich is going to be $25 roughly. So and then you can you know, you can choose skip this. This isn't going to work because online isn't set up yet, but you probably want to not have this this setup if you have modifiers, because if you have a modifier, it's not going to let them check it it's not going to let them choose that online. So if you want to be able to have them modify something like bread choices, which we're going to go into in just a second. I'm not going to choose it here because I will choose it, but I want to show you, actually I'm not, I'm going to show you how to do that. So now we have our options. Regular, you could actually take regular off, because now we have grilled, blackened, and fried. And if we hit save and we go over to our chicken sandwich, we'll see that we now have $12.95 to $13.95. It's just going to depend on what kind of chicken they chose. So if you want this to be the same, then obviously choose all of these to be the same price. So that's how a variation would work. And I want to show you, you could also do this with a modifier. So a modifier, so I have bread choices set up here. We have white, whole wheat, sourdough, and gluten-free. Notice gluten-free is extra. If you put extra here, it's going to add extra to the price. So we have that set up. Now, if we did that for our chicken and took off the variations piece, you could actually make the price here, but you don't want to put the whole price in here. So if you just say you had a modifier that was blackened and it was $1.25 extra. And then you had grilled, which was no extra, and fried, and it was not extra. Then if you hit save there, you would want to apply this to your item, but then you would want to go back into the item and remove the variations, because otherwise they're going to get charged twice again. So you would just delete these off of here. But I wanted to show you how that could work. And we're just going to leave it that way and hit save. Okay, so now you get the idea of how to set up an item, how to modify it, and how to choose a category. But you would also need to set up your taxes. You should know what these are for your business, and if you don't, consult your bookkeeper or accountant on how to set that up. Units is like if you have a unit on how you measure, so say yardage, if you wanted to add yards in here, you could do, there you go, cubic yard. They probably have yard in here, but you could just, choose yard, because it's probably not like, there you go. And then you could just choose, 1 or whatever, and set that up, and then you'll have yard available. And then settings, these are other things that you will have to go in and set up based on your business. So now, how do we get to our store? I don't have a store yet, nope, but you have items, and they're going to go over to the store. So when you hit that hamburger button again, you're gonna see a little button here that says online store. And there was one other thing over here that I was going to, right here. You can actually get to it from this online checkout area. You would put your name of your company in here, because otherwise it's blank. And then it would go, you can hit this button as well for go to online store, but you can always get to it from your main hamburger button by hitting this. So when you first set this up, it's going to say, it's going to ask you a few questions about your store. Just answer those, and then you're going to get to the dashboard. And this is where it is. And I've cleared out most of what I had in here for my first recording, so that we could start over. And you see there's a setup guide here. You can follow that here or here. Some of this I've already done, so that's why I have some of the steps completed. But we're going to start with, one, we're going to go to our items, and we're going to see our item library. And now, as I mentioned, so your items will pull across, and here they are. And you'll see some of these don't have pictures, so they're not very pretty. But our pie, again, has a different price variable because we put those variables in there. So again, choose how you want to do it for your business, and how you want it to look. It's totally up to you. But the categories, you'll see, did not pull over. I had all those other categories, and they don't come across. So no biggie, we just create a new category. So I'm going to create one called lunch. One is to add organization in Square, and one is to add organization in your store. If you don't care that your Square is organized, like you don't care, how things are set up and how they look over there, then don't even worry about it. But here, again, you want to add a category title, you want to add an image. So if we had, I'll go back to my food images and see if I can find something else in here that we could use for lunch. No, honey's not good. I don't have anything. Oh, maybe barbecue. There we go. A barbecue picture. That's kind of lunchish. We'll stick that in there, and you'll see it'll upload, and you'll see in a minute how that shows up with the categories. In the meantime, we're going to choose our items. Right now, we really only have chicken sandwich for lunch. We could probably do biscuits and gravy. We'll just, maybe those two will be our lunch items. Here is the permalink is like a shortcut to get to this item. So if this is the category, we're going to want to name it lunch. And then we're going to say lunch. Your SEO title is really important because it's going to help people find you in search. So lunch served daily in Arvada, Colorado, because that's where I am. And then here you could talk a little bit about your business. So Elisa's online cafe serves, or we could put in here, is delivering and has pickup for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in Arvada, Westminster, Golden, Lakewood, Colorado. So you want to pack that full of your keywords, just so you have something to get searched on. And it's going to be mad that I didn't capitalize all these, so I'll just fix that. Then we hit save, and we have our category set up, and we have our items in our category. So that's the first thing. Your items come over, your categories do not. You can also set up gift cards here, enable, and I'll let you set that up. I'm not going to go through that, and coupons. So if you happen to have a coupon, you can add a coupon in here. We're going to hop over to the website. This is the most important piece because you need to have a website to get started. So I'm going to skip edit for a minute. We're going to go back to that. General settings is where you're going to set up information. So your site address, you can customize this and just use a domain that they give you. They'll find you one. So you just type something in here that's similar, and it may even autofill it. If you use a domain you already own, it will override your current website. So if you have a current website set up and you like it and you don't want it to just be this, don't use this. Use a custom domain. And then you can use a Square domain that looks like this, but if you use, and this is where I set it up. So you see Elisa Connor Test, you could type something else in here and then it would use that. So that's how this got set up. So that's how you set that up. That's really important, or you won't have a site. And then you could change the site title to whatever you want to call it. Whoops, I cannot type today, it's Saturday. Okay, a favicon, just so you know, you don't have to set this up. You have to actually pay to do that. If you want to, it's this little funny thing that's on the tab. I don't think you need to have that just to get started. Choose site language. If you're not in America, you can choose, or if you don't use English, you can choose any of these languages. If you have already published your site, you could push unpublish and reset. If you totally screwed up and you don't like it, you can reset it and it'll start you right over where we are. SEO and social media. This is going to let you fill in a few things that you might want to do for SEO. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We can talk about it later. Integration, same. You know, if you're wanting to track your Google verification, Facebook ads, Pinterest ads, that kind of stuff, you would fill that in. Form entries. This is if somebody is filling out a contact form or something like that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Instagram, if you have an Instagram feed, you would go through these steps to connect that. Same with Facebook. To sell on Instagram, Facebook, or Facebook Messenger, you would do that here. And then also if you want to pop up to show up, to collect emails, offer a coupon, all that, you would do that here. Not spending time on that today, just wanted to let you know. Orders is going to show you the orders that come through. And if you have to do shipping, that kind of stuff. So you have to verify everything to get a lot of these things to work. And I'm not going to do that because this is a mock site, as I mentioned. So back to overview. A website, we're going to go into edit the site. This is how you start to set up your site. Now you're going to see that you have some choices over here on the left. Now, depending on your business model, is going to depend on what you choose. I actually recommend you just choose all of these, because unless you have a business that you're never going to have reservations, you don't need to choose that one. But to have them in there to use later is better to just add them now, because it's difficult to go back in and change this. So reservations, obviously, a lot of people aren't going to use that now, but you might use it later. And once this is set up, you have it. Also, Instagram, if you're not on Instagram, that's okay. Add it. You can change it later. Same with contact form. Here's a contact form. And then you also have the ability to fill out, we're going to get to this in a minute, but to get them on your email list. So once you do that, hit next. And then you can upload your logo. I'm just going to use my logo because I happen to have one in here. Losing my voice because I'm recording this so many times. I've had so many problems with this, but there we go. So now you'll see my logo, and it's kind of small. That's all right. I'm going to drag this up and make it bigger, and then hit next. And there it goes. I was like, that's really small. So you'll see you can make it as big or as small as you want, and then hit next. Here you can choose your favorite font size, font type. I kind of like the classic or the vintage. That's what I would do. And then you'll want to choose a color that is similar to your brand color. With the free version of this website, you don't get to choose your exact brand colors. So to keep it free, choose what you got. You got a lot more when you pay for it. But hit finish and you're ready to head for the races. So this is how you set up your home page. This is your home page where they're going to land first, and you can actually change this later. But I just want to show you a couple of things on this main bar. So you have your home page, you have an item. We're going to get to that in a minute. So you can add other pages like this. And so you probably want to at least check it out. Changes. You've already got your logo in there. Navigation is going to show up for the pages you have set up. So remember we added reservations, it made a page. And so if you want it to link to ordering online, you would hit that. We don't have an online page yet, but we will. And then so there's filled in, there's outline, and then here is where you choose the color. And it doesn't give us very many choices, but that's what we get. And then to change this, like say we wanted it to say order online now and add option style, we'll do that. But I like the picture, so I'm going to go back to donuts. Okay, so that section's pretty done. Then we go to this one, and I don't have poke, so I'm going to say donuts are here. Or actually I like wheat, and you could change the color again if you wanted it to be black. And you here under the section, and so you would hit add image, and if you put a donut in here, it's going to put a donut all the way behind it. You can also change the height of this, like if you didn't want it so tall, you could do it that way. And then you also have the option to change the layout completely. So if you just wanted it to look like this and have the donuts behind there, you could do that. Or you could actually change that background now that you're like, oh, I have donut here, donut here. Maybe you want to change this donut to this. Maybe you just want to make it a color and have something like that. That's kind of nice. So I'm going to do that. We have donuts, order donuts. And then same with this, like if you click on this again, you're gonna have to link this somewhere. So I'm gonna do it to our order online, and we're gonna make that page next. Okay, and so then maybe we have some featured items. And you can keep this here, or you can actually, I think, just get rid of it. But your featured items, you're gonna see none of these were items that I created. So that's kind of weird. You're like, what? And maybe you could say favorite menu items. And then these are items that our customers rave about. Try one today. And then put them on there. But you see that this chicken sandwich is showing unavailable. That means I need to go in and edit it. So I'm going to show you how to do that too. So we're definitely going to feature pie and pancakes and chicken. Those are what we're going to add. And we're going to put those on there. Oops. And we're going to hit save, not add. You can add a menu item here too. Okay, so now we have those in here. I like the way those look. Do that and then change the section style. So if you just wanted two and you wanted the custom color to be, you don't have a lot of choices. It's going to change that color. And I thought there was a way to make, for some reason it's only giving me two options there. So maybe you only have two items here, but that's okay. And then, oh, maybe it's layout. No, it's not. Okay, so you're kind of stuck with that. So put 2 or 3. I don't know why it's not letting me do that, but if you, okay, so here's your Instagram feed. And if you don't want this, if you haven't set it up already, you can set that up, or I believe you can just get rid of this. Here's the number of rows. I'm just would be your spacing, so the space between those, and then the default color, or make it a different color altogether, whatever you want to do. And And then if you have an action button, like maybe follow us on Instagram, then you would change this to Instagram and change this to follow us, and it would take them over there. But I'm not going to put an action button. Your username, that would be what you put over there, and I'm pretty sure you can get rid of this. So I'm not gonna, right here. So you hit those 3 dots, and I'm just going to hit delete because I don't want it in there right now, but you can add it later. That's what I was trying to tell you. And so I really don't want this contact us thing in here right now because I don't want people contacting me, not right now. And so again, I can click on that, hit the 3 dots up here and hit delete, and that's going to get rid of that. Now if you are a restaurant or business, you definitely want a map. So you're going to click on this part and you're going to click on the map, and you're going to enter your address in here. And I'm just going to put I don't know if something's going to show up. I don't know if it's going to show up. I was just going to put Arvada, Colorado in there, but close enough. So it's going to change the map once you put your address in there, and you have to verify that once you put your address in to Square and all the places that we started, this will fill in. And then you'll want to change these details to what you want to have in there. Maybe you don't have an email, so you just delete that, but you need to definitely have an address and a phone number, and then get directions with link to the map, and then your hours if you need to change those. So that's what you would change there. Again, you can change the section color to a custom color, and maybe you make this match up above so it looks like that, or something more pinkish or gray, whatever you want to do. I kind of like this, so I'm gonna just do the white. And then this last piece is your if you want them to join your email list. Again, if you're not ready for them to do this or to have this set up, you can change the style of this as well. But if you don't want this in here, I'm just going to take it out for now because I want to get things rolling. Okay, so now I've got this ready. It automatically saves it, but we need to add that other page. So we're going to add a page, and we don't have one in here. And so we need to add online ordering. And once you hit enter, the other piece of this is that we can go into that little standard pages, and I think we can take the reservations out, but we'll go back to that. So online ordering, we have the page here, and then oh, it didn't add it. Okay, so if we hit add, oh, I don't know why it went away. It's so weird. Okay, well, here it is. Header, layout. Okay, I think my internet is stuck. I'm gonna hit refresh really quick. I'm having everybody's on the internet today, so things are getting stuck. I'm like, why is this not making a page? You should have a blank page is the point when you get onto your online ordering, and it's not giving me that, and so I'm not really sure why, but let's see if we can get back in here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it was stuck. So you see this stuff right here stays the same, but you have the option to shut this navigation off. So if you didn't want people to go over there, it would just be that. And you can also change your layout. So like if you like it this way and you notice how stuff kind of moves around, you could have it this way or that way or however you want. So I'm gonna just do it this way, and then if I turn my navigation back on, interesting, things move around. And I guess we could have it there, but if they're coming to online order, I don't know that they would need to go back home, so you could just take that off. And then have your action button be on or off, like they're already here. So you could just say order online now and leave it there. And then you would want to create a new section. So to add a new section, we are going to go back to here, and we're going to add a section right here, and we are going to put you know, maybe our featured categories. And so here's our categories that we set up earlier, and we can now put, you know, our, oh, right here, I'm like, we have to choose our categories. So we have brunch, dinner, desserts, and lunch. And so we would save that, and now they're going to show up. And you're like, that's kind of big, I don't really like it. That's okay, you can change it down here to 3. And we have lunch and dinner with the same picture, but that's okay, we can fix that later. And then you could, you know, how big do you want your images? If you want them to be a little bigger, you could do it that way. You can play with this. 1 by 1 is, you know, you can make them square. It's all going to depend on how you have your images set up. But I kind of like the 3 by 2. And then you can choose, do you want a title here? And you could put like Elisa's current menu or whatever. And then you could also add a description if you want, and you could put something like all of these menu items can be delivered by our staff or picked up today. Okay, and that would be that. So that is how you set up the category. And then if you need to edit the details of that category, which you can do it here, or you can do it where we were before, that's where we have those details. So hit save. And then if you want to see, okay, so what does this look like? You just hit this preview button, and that's what it looks like. And when they click on that, it's going to take them over to the brunch menu. And then they can go back to desserts or lunch or however. So we're going to close that, and it's going to show us, you know, how that looks. So, whoops, the item list is right here. You can set that up how you want it to be. If you don't want, you know, that basically gives you how you can arrange and all that kind of stuff. So you can pull these, I believe, and then you want lunch up here above desserts. I thought you could move it up there. Yeah. Whoops, nope, that put it under lunch. We don't want that. So lesson learned, if you move it under something, it's going to go under it. And then dinner we want below. So you just drag it, click and drag, and then when you open it, you can do the same thing with your items inside. So once you hit publish, and you could actually, if you wanted to add an image here, you could, or you could just delete this. I don't necessarily know that you need it. I don't know why that's right there, but it's not letting me move it. Move up. Hide section. There it is. Hide section. We don't need that part. So there you go. And then once you're done with that, you can hit done, and anything else you'd want to edit, you just click on it, edit, hit publish, and then your store, as soon as it does its little dance right here, your store is live. You can click on this link, and it's going to show you what your customers see. And there you go. So I do want to go back in though and show you how to, so if you hit order online, it's going to take you to that page now that we just created, and it's going to tell you pickup time, prep time, all that kind of stuff. You can set all of this up in there as well. So you can let people know, and then you can link that link right here, set pickup. So delivery, of course you need to put your address, prep time, scheduled pickups, and all that kind of stuff. So you can set all that up, but that will get you started, and then you'll have an idea of, you'll have a store that's up and running, and it's going to look something like that. So if you have any questions, let me know, but this has been pretty long, and it's given you a lot of information to start. So get started, get your business up there, and in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions. You can leave them below this link on the Facebook group. Stay healthy, keep prospering out there as a small business, and know that we are rooting for you. In the meantime, take care, and I'll talk with you soon.